Let us now continue our discussion of Genesis 1:1 to Genesis 1:2. As mentioned before, Genesis 1:1 is only the opening clause of a rather long sentence. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, comma. In the beginning of the Almighty's creating the heavens and the earth, comma. The opening word of verse 2 is ve'haaretz. This wav here is called a wav conjunctive because it has a schwa under it, also because it's attached to a noun phrase and not a verb. Ve'haaretz. And you can see the schwa sound pronounced here. The significance of the wav conjunctive is that it does not move time in the narrative forward. The time frame is the same. In other words, it's just describing a situation that was happening at the time in the introductory clause. This is why many translations, including the Rashi translation I read to you, translate this word when. That's to clarify that it means at the same time as the previous clause. So we will make that correction now. When the earth was. That should clarify what the meaning of the wav conjunctive is here. We will see a bit later that there is a contrasting wa consecutive that moves the time frame forward, and it has a slightly different sense than the wav conjunctive. This is very important for chronology. Hayata is properly in the perfect, so we will change it to a perfect form. There we go. Had been. Tohu wavohu. These words sound alike and they are similar in meaning. In fact, they are almost synonymous. If one does a word study on them, one will find that the meaning not and nothing makes more sense in most of the context and also here too. Formless implies something that already exists but has no form. Void implies something that's empty, like something that already exists but has empty spots. That's not what this is saying. Tohu, not, nothing, and void, meaning not or nothing, meaning that the earth had not been constructed at all yet. There was no shapeless earth, there was nothing, just water. The land is formed several verses later. So let's correct this misimpression here. This wavohu, is attached to a noun, and therefore it's a wav conjunctive. In fact, you can see in the grammar here it says conjunctive wav. Another conjunctive wav. Vechoshech, and darkness. We need do nothing here. All, over. We need do nothing here also. Was, a simple verb to be, sometimes is meant, but is not actually in the Hebrew. Over, the face of the deep. How does the definite article get on to face? Because the deep is a proper noun, the ocean, a definite object. Therefore, everything in the construct chain becomes definite. There is a mistranslation here. Of does not go with tehom. Of goes with face. So let's fix that. Was over, al, the face of, panei, tehom, the deep. There should not be a period here. The ruach, and the spirit of God. The of goes with spirit, which is in construct, not Elohim. In fact, you can see it in the grammar here. Construct, no construct over here. Let's correct that. And the spirit of Ruach Elohim, the Almighty, and the Spirit of the Almighty. Merachefet. We have a pile participle here. Pile imparts emphasis. I'll show you how I translate for the piel. Participle. Ing, piel, causative, emphatic, making be a vibrating. The ing is also an element of the participle. Was making be a vibrating. The verb root actually means, more literally, flutter. Okay, as I was saying, the meaning of this root is fluttering, like a bird flapping its wings. But the effect of fluttering would be make the water resonate or vibrate over the surface of water. So this is a sort of dynamic equivalent here. Over the face of the waters. Again, the word of should be attached to the end of face to be proper. This is the construct word, not hamayim. Panei hamayim. There we go. The face of the waters. Panei hamayim. Let's read over what we've got. In the beginning of the Almighty's creating the heavens and the earth, when the earth had been naught and nothing, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of the Almighty was making be a vibrating over the face of the waters. Still in an introductory clause. So we should have a comma here. We should have no accent mark here ending the verse, nor should we have a verse ender. Okay, so I removed the markings here. the face of the waters. And now in verse 3, we come to the wav consecutive. Consecutive, that's how it's indicated here in the grammatical code. The wav consecutive moves time forward, and it's not equivalent to the English word and. It's equivalent to the English word then. Literally, also, the imperfect here is equivalent to an English present tense or future tense, and not to the past tense. So let's fix that. Then says, Wayomer, then says, Elohim, the Almighty, Yahi, let there be light, or let there be light. Yahi or, literally a form of the imperfect with a modal to it. May there be light, or there should be light, in a more imperative type of sense, called jussive. Again, we have a wav consecutive. Vayahi, then there is. Again, the imperfect is more literally in a present tense mode. Then there is. There should in fact be a period here, because this ends our long clause from Genesis 1:1. Then says the Almighty, let there be light, period. Then there is light. This again is a wav consecutive. It moves time forward. First he says, let there be light, then there is light. Let's go back to the beginning of the passage. In the beginning of the Almighty's creating the heavens and the earth, when the earth had been naught and nothing, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of the Almighty was making be a vibrating over the face of the waters. Then says the Almighty, let there be light. Then there is light.